Hello and welcome to the Monday, March 2nd, 2020 edition of Tesla Daily, unofficial Tesla podcast. My name is Rob Maurer. Today we are talking about the macro environment, Tesla stock price increase on the day. We also have some Tesla updates on Model Y, Model 3, various other things, and some news on competition. But we'll start with the stock. Tesla stock on the day today did finish up 11.3% to $743.62. That compared to the NASDAQ with an incredibly strong day, up 4.5%. And then in the after-hours session, Tesla's up another 3.5% to $769. So the roller coaster continues. As we said on Friday, that was the worst day for the NASDAQ in about 9 years. This was the best day for the NASDAQ in only about a year and a half. Most of the comeback for today seems to be being attributed to increased expectations for central banks to lower interest rates amid these epidemic and pandemic health concerns, with the Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell on Friday saying that they would be closely monitoring developments and would, quote, act as appropriate to support the economy, end quote. And Goldman Sachs out today saying that they expect the Fed to cut interest rates by 0.5% at their upcoming meeting in mid-March, and then another 0.25% in each of the following two meetings in April and June. So that seems to be the driving force behind today, as well as I'm sure just a correction to the steep negative days that we had last week. Health scare-wise, I'm not sure there's been a ton of good news over the last few days, but probably also no horrific news, and new cases in China continue to decline, which is probably helping ease some concerns on that front. In terms of Tesla-specific news, progress with Model Y seems to be continuing. Over the weekend, there was a shot of the Fremont parking lot with a few dozen Model Ys parked in it. And we've also seen some images emerge of the Model Y loaded up onto car carriers, so both nice signs to see as we head towards deliveries in the next couple weeks. With more and more Model Ys out there, some interior shots are starting to sneak out as well. And from these, it looks like one of the differences between the Model Y and the Model 3 is that the Model Y appears to have USB-C inputs on the back of the center console for the rear seats. We also have a bit of an update here that may be of interest to some early orderers of Model Y. As we know, people have been starting to receive invitations to schedule deliveries for some versions of the Model Y. And one such listener going through that process now has shared with me that Tesla gave them the option to add the full self-driving option that they had not previously selected for a price of just $5,000, which was the price at the time the Model Y unveil happened, versus the current $7,000 cost of the option for new orders today. This particular person had placed their order as soon as possible the night of the Model Y unveiling, so I would imagine Tesla's just honoring the price at the time the orders were placed, but we'll just have to wait and see as we get more information from other orderers on that. Shifting over to the Model 3, Tesla today released a new aftermarket option for performance Model 3s with the performance upgrade package called the Model 3 Track Package, which Tesla says will optimize the track performance of your performance upgrade Model 3. Quote, this upgrade includes track-focused brake fluid, high-performance brake pads, and 20-inch 0G performance wheels to maximize your overall track experience, end quote. This package costs $5,500, and Tesla says they estimate shipments of this to begin in April 2020. On the hardware end, also probably worth noting that these 20-inch wheels are wider than the performance wheels would otherwise be. Normally they're 8.5 inches, these are 9 inches wide. And then on the software end, we have updates to track mode. The changes here allow for more customization, giving more control over the vehicle. So using the software, you can change the balance of the vehicle in terms of handling from 100% rear-wheel drive to 100% front-wheel drive, or any split along the way that you prefer. That same slider system is available for both stability assist and regen as well, and there's a preset menu that will allow you to save your preferred settings. There's also now a visualization of the temperature of the components of the vehicle throughout the powertrain as well as the wheels. And then a feature that we only have a little bit of insight into is a record video feature, which according to the YouTubers that were able to have early access to this to demonstrate it, will also allow the capturing of some pretty cool data similar to a V-Box. I didn't see any of them demonstrate this record functionality, but one of them did say it would give pretty detailed data, mentioning examples like the ability to record individual lap times or to analyze your power output throughout individual turns on the track. So overall, a pretty extensive overhaul of track performance for the Model 3, although it's not exactly clear to me when that version 2 of track mode software will be released. In other exciting upgrade news, Tesla today announced the ability for older Model S and Model X owners to upgrade their MCUs from MCU 1 to MCU 2 in what they're calling the infotainment upgrade for $2,500. This would be for Model S and X vehicles built before March of 2018, and the upgrade process would enable things like video streaming, video games, and just overall smoother performance from the touchscreen. I know a lot of owners have been asking about this, so it's really nice to see Tesla offer this upgrade path. Next up today is a little snippet that Electrek snuck into an article about Cybertruck and how that has boosted sales for Tesla in general, saying, quote, sources at Tesla are telling Electrek that the electric pickup is already boosting sales and helping Tesla keep its momentum in the US without the tax credit, end quote. And then in this article also throwing in, saying, quote, sources familiar with Tesla's US sales told Electrek that the automaker's management has given its North American sales team roughly the same delivery goal as the previous quarter, end quote. If that information is correct, I think that's pretty encouraging. We'll go through the FactSet estimates as we get closer to the end of the quarter. But just from conversation, it does seem like people expect deliveries to be down quarter over quarter, so information like this could be perceived as pretty strong news. However, remember they are just talking about North America here, and as we talked about last quarter, it was an amazing quarter for specifically the Netherlands, with the Netherlands, Norway, and Spain, 3 countries that we have access to daily registration updates, taking about 20,000 deliveries in Q4. So far, quarter to date through Q1, they've only registered about 630 vehicles versus over 5,000 at this point in the quarter in Q4. So we talked about that. There are some tax changes. This was to be expected. Tesla's just going to have to make up that volume in other markets. Obviously, China should play a role there. But the point is that even if North America is flat quarter over quarter, it would still be pretty easy for the global deliveries to be down. Nevertheless, a positive little rumor there, I think. We also have a small positive update on Gigafactory Berlin we talked about on Friday, how the mayor of the municipality that the Gigafactory is located in expected the groundbreaking ceremony to happen as early as late March. Well, we now also have the Brandenburg Minister of Economics, Jörg Steinbach, adding to that, saying in a translated quote, we expect a groundbreaking project to happen in the second half of March. I would like Elon Musk to come back to Germany for this. This would be an important signal for the locals, end quote. Elon on Twitter responded to an article on this, saying that he would definitely be there. Just for some context, not that I would put a whole lot of stock in this, but I did look back at the timeline for Gigafactory Shanghai. The location was announced on July 10th, 2018, and the groundbreaking was January 7th, 2019. So about 6 months from announcement to groundbreaking for Gigafactory Shanghai. In the case of Gigafactory Berlin, the announcement was made on November 12th, 2019. And if we do get groundbreaking end of March, then we're looking at about 4.5 months for Gigafactory Berlin. We'll obviously get a better feel for the timeline when construction does start, but nice to see that so far, it seems like things are progressing quickly. In other news, Waymo today announced that they have completed their first external investment round, raising $2.25 billion. Unfortunately, the cap raise didn't give us any insight into Waymo's current valuation. I think Morgan Stanley had last valued it at around $105 billion, so I would have to guess somewhere in that ballpark. And we also didn't get a whole lot of information on what Waymo intends to use these funds for, with their CEO in a blog post saying, quote, we've always approached our mission as a team sport, collaborating with our OEM and supplier partners, our operations partners, and the communities we serve to build and deploy the world's most experienced driver. Today we're expanding that team, adding financial investors and important strategic partners who bring decades of experience investing in and supporting successful technology companies building transformative products. With this injection of capital and business acumen, alongside Alphabet, we'll deepen our investment in our people, our technology, and our operations, all in support of the deployment of the Waymo driver around the world, end quote. So pretty general, but the investors in this round include Magna International, which is one of the largest automotive suppliers in the world, the largest in North America, as well as AutoNation, which is a network of more than 300 car dealerships, so kind of interesting investors. Waymo did also share an update on their miles driven, saying they have more than 20 million miles on public roads across 25 cities, and over 10 billion miles in simulation. So of course, a different set of data than Tesla's fleet collects, but 2 orders of magnitude less in terms of the real world miles than Tesla's roughly 2 billion plus autopilot miles. It'll be nice when we start seeing more of these full self-driving features rolling out, and these numbers can at least become a little bit more comparable. The last thing for today is something to keep an eye on for the middle of this week. GM will be holding an electric vehicle day for investors and for media on Wednesday, March 4th. In this event, they're expected to give a comprehensive update on their electric vehicle plans, but I can't help but thinking that this might come off a little bit like Ford's Mach-E unveiling did compared to a Tesla event, which we'll have the opportunity for comparison on if Battery and Powertrain Day does end up happening in April, which is already next month. So good for GM for dedicating some time to this, and I hope it goes well, but we'll definitely be following that later this week. That will do it for today, though. As always, thank you for listening. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter at Tesla Podcast, and I'll see you tomorrow for the Tuesday, March 3rd episode of Tesla Daily. Thank you.